Welcome to Bond STX. This is week 11, March 14th to March 18th. This is Lance, the Bark and Stock Bounty Hunter, back at you again. I have my special guest, Dazz, with me this week. And so we're going to talk through some great picks, some long-term plays, some short-term plays. Let me start off with a disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I advising anyone to spend their money. This is only for educational purposes and only my opinion. Any money spent is at the individual's own discretion and not due to any information from me. So as always, or as lately, the last few weeks, been starting off talking about the market as a whole. And so it's kind of look at where we are in the market and what we've been talking about since the beginning of the war. And that is the war in Ukraine and Russia, if you've been living under a rock. Last few weeks been pretty good on where the market is going to go. Had a couple options the last couple weeks, depending on which way the market would go. It actually fell down. Again, last week the market fell down again, and so looking at a little bit of a trend. Again, I'm going back a couple years to trying to find some bullish momentum or positivity coming out of a downward market or correction. And so I am finding a little bit of an opportunity in the market potentially this week. I do think the market will be a little bit flat, so meaning that where it was Friday, Thursday, Friday time frame, I think it'll pull back into that. We're definitely down today, so we are recording this video a day late. I was traveling yesterday, so the market's already started for the week, and so coming into the week, it saw a little bit of a support moving upward on the Nasdaq. Actually fell through today, came back down to a support that has actually hit the last few weeks a couple of times. So I expect the market to actually pull back up this week. I'm gonna go out on the limb. I see it hitting a support here. It may pull through a little bit some tomorrow. One thing to be aware of this week, we've got the Fed's rate increase this week. And so there's going to be, I think, three. They announced there will be three rate increases this year. And so this is, I believe, the first one. So they actually announced this a couple weeks back, maybe a month ago. So we expect to hear that announcement come out this week. So that will drive investors a little bit crazy. It may make the market a little rocky, probably Wednesday or Thursday. But I do expect Friday a decent pullback, and I expect it to be back into the 13,000 range, low 13,000 range by Friday. So that's my projection on the Nasdaq, based on some of the things I'm seeing with the MACD. I did see a little bit of rejection here in the cross, in the convergence divergence here. So didn't actually get that cross up as you would expect to see to bring the market a little bit more positive. So we did see a little bit of a pullback today. So we'll see what the market looks like this week, but I do expect we'll see a little bit more of an upward trend. I think we've seen as much of the bottom as we'll see, I hope. But who knows, anything can happen in the next couple of weeks. But if March isn't a great month for the market, I expect April to be a little bit brighter. So moving on to the New York Stock Exchange, very similar results. Do see a little bit of a pull up in the MACD, which is a good sign. Today you did see a fall off today, but I do expect by Friday we see the New York Stock Exchange around the low 16,000 range. So I do expect to see this probably pull down some more this week. It does seem to have pretty good support around the 15,600 range. And so expect to see it hit that, maybe touch off on it, and then bounce and pull back up into this range. So that's my projections on the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq this week. So going into plays of the week and some call outs. So Aerojet is a company. It's actually called Aerojet Rocketdyne. Is a company that makes military missiles, defense weapons, and I think they were actually on the news a few months ago. Well, actually a month ago, I heard about them for the first time. I believe Lockheed Martin were in process of buying this company. I think they're a $400 billion company, if I'm not mistaken. But Lockheed Martin was in the process of buying them, and something happened and they pulled out of the purchase or the acquisition. And so, it's something I've been scanning since I heard about it. And of course, with the military concerns and the war, I thought it'd be good to start scanning this one. So it came up on the radar this week, moving in a trend of a 2, which is a decent upward trend coming into the week. 26 cents overpriced, coming in at a true value of $38.52. I'm sorry. And so let's look at what the charts are showing us for Aerojet Rocketdyne. It's AJRD is the ticker, and it trades on the New York Stock Exchange. And so, again, starting out at 1 year, 1 day, as I always do. I'm just kind of looking at big picture where the market or the stock is moving. You can see heavily above the cake, overpriced, pretty much this time last year. You can see in August it pulled down, kind of stayed in the cake from August to around December timeframe. And you see another overpriced, and then you see a drastic pull down into the price and devaluing the stock quite a bit. And so it pulled it down and seen its recent low of 35.47. And that was on a few weeks ago on February 23rd. So a lot of stocks, as they come out of a recent low, tend to want to pull back again. This SMA is kind of a great trend line that I like to use. And as the market typically pulls away from the trend line, it wants to pull back, and this kind of goes this back and forth pattern as it wants to go across the SMA back and forth. So looking at what I see here, it's opening up on the MACD, going a little more bullish. I see some trends of more upward price values, pricing into the stock. So you see kind of a bounce here, pull, bounce here, pull down. I expect to see a little bit of a bounce up here more in the future. So I think in the next couple of weeks, this one will continue to pull up and ride this kind of a upward trend. I think in this week, I believe a good price point to get into AJRD, Aerojet Rocketdyne. I think a good price point for me is $37.76. I believe it's going to cover this, which it looked like it did today. It's going to cover this this bar here. I wouldn't be surprised if it came down and covered this manipulation bar, and I would expect it to potentially come down if the market pulls down some more to 37.31. But I feel real comfortable with this company, just in the momentum that it's been going on. I feel comfortable getting at 37.76. So that's my call out and price point for Aerojet Rocketdyne. So that's what's your call out for Aerojet this week.
I'm hoping for possibly, I got like 37. What is that? 43.
37.43. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
743 it is. Do you know much about this company? You ever heard of it? Just curious.
No, this is my first time. So when I saw your spreadsheet, that first time it brought to my attention, honestly.
Okay.
So you said Lockheed Martin, right?
Yeah, they were planning on buying them out, and something happened. I don't know if just the deal just fell through, but Lockheed Martin was planning on buying them, and they pulled out the deal for some reason. So I didn't.
Is that when that stock had that dip, that really dramatic dip, or you're not sure?
I think that was around the time. So let's see. Let's see what one that was. I want to say it was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. So it might have been around here. It might have been right. So I just remember watching the news that morning, seeing something about, acquisition fell through, and I was like, never heard of this company. So yeah, it might have been right here where the gap is. You might be right.
Okay.
About that time frame. All right, so moving on to the next call out for the week. Vuzix. So Vuzix is a company that does smart glasses. So I don't know if anyone remembers, but years ago, Google was talking about coming out with like Google glasses, where you kind of walk around and kind of see your GPS on your lens. And so I guess that didn't fall through for Google very well. So Vuzix, I guess, kind of took that baton and started running with it. So this is a little known company. I've actually found this on StockTwits, and it hit some good percentages over the last few weeks. So I've been scanning it for probably maybe 3 weeks, maybe now. So don't know a whole lot about this company other than the fact it's starting to catch some momentum. And I think when we talk about the metaverse and things of that nature, this is one of the companies that may, be probably acquired by maybe Apple at some point, or some other bigger company, maybe Facebook. But it seems like they have a good setup for actually training and actually seeing how to do a job. If you're like on a job training somewhere, kind of seeing how to do it before you actually start doing it while you're wearing the glasses. So it's pretty cool. They got some pretty neat videos out there on their website. But anyway, moving at a trend of a 2, which is pretty decent upward trend. Coming into the week, they are 14 cents overpriced at a true value of $5.85. So on the borderline of a penny stock. So something to be aware of. I'm not a penny stock fan, but something about this company sparked my interest, and I did look at the charts and saw some things here. So again, looking at it 1 year, 1 day, kind of see it hit a high of $32.43. Very overpriced around April of last year, and ever since then, it's been on a pretty downward trend. You do see an SMA that kind of makes this rainbow pattern. And one of the things I do like that I'm seeing, and you can see a lot of volume coming in November, and you see how the market or the price pulled up, and it actually saw a resistance on the SMA. And I expect to see a similar pattern come back. It wants to come back and touch the SMA again here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I do think in this week, though, I did see a pull down in the market today in the stock price. I do see a trend upward, and I do think in this week, $5.50 is not a bad price. Again, a penny stock in a technical term is anything $5 and less, and we do see a low of $4.54. So it's right there on the cusp of being a penny stock, but seeing where it's been with the $32, I do think at $5.50 this week you can get in here and possibly get out around $6.42 or the $6 range. So that's not a bad increase. We're talking about 7.7%. So not bad potential this week. So I'm going with Vuzix at $5.50 this week. That's what's your comfortable price range for Vuzix?
I'm actually right on the head with you on that one. I'm just a little off on mine, a little lower. I was thinking 540, 40, 42-ish.
542?
Yeah.
All right, 542 it is.
And trying to put my data back up.
And one thing too with the MACD, I was looking at a kind of a trend there, and kind of see going back early part of late, well, I guess the middle of last year. Definitely can see an opportunity for this to continue to gain some momentum. So I think there's some opportunity definitely with this company even long term. So I got it
Hey, I'm
down
sorry,
long term play. Go ahead.
sorry about that. 536. I see what I written. I wrote that down actually.
536. We're gonna make a correction. 536. You said 542 at first.
Yeah, at first, but I wrote down before 536, and I see what I see now. Why I said that earlier.
All right. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. Appreciate that. So we're gonna go into the next play of the week. So kind of going down into the charts a little bit, or in the spreadsheet a little bit. Got HP Incorporated. So moving at a trend of a 2, again, a decent trend in the right direction. 76 cents overpriced. And so pulling in at a true value of $35.53. So looking at HP, of course, it's a computer company. Most everyone knows HP. So ticker symbol HPQ, and it trades on the New York Stock Exchange. And so just first overview, first glance at it, you can see it's very overpriced, clearly overpriced. Is above the SMA. You see a little bit of a want to pull back into the SMA. So you see some lower lows coming in. So it looks like a trend is pulling, back into the cake range, back into the SMA. And so I would expect it to definitely touch the SMA at some point here in the near future. And so, but I do think in this week there's some opportunity, and I do see today the price fell quite a bit. Actually fell, let's see, what's the percentage on that? Fell about 5.6% today. So a big pullback. Again, looks like the price wants to come down and actually hold support on the SMA. So I think, so it looks like it covered this manipulation here. So I guess the next manipulation bar it has to cover is somewhere right in here. So I would put my price point at this manipulation bar here to cover this week. So that gets me at a comfortable price point of $33.30, with the potential that it will pull back by Friday or before Friday, and probably about a 2.8 to 3% gain. So I'm looking forward to this one getting back to the $34 range. And so I'm going to go in with this one at $33.30. That's my call out for this one. That's what's your call out for HP this week. Dazz, you there?
Yeah, I had it on mute. Yeah, my call out for HP is actually I got 33.89.
Okay. All right, 33.89, and you can see some trends in the MACD too. You can see it starting to become a little bit more bullish here, which is a good sign that more investors are coming back into this one. Hopefully we'll see this one actually, again, support, not here, support here on the SMA and pull back. So that's what I expect to see with HP this week. All right, moving on to the next one, Robinhood. So Robinhood has been a very controversial stock. Since it's IPO'd, it has been completely demolished, and we'll see that here in the charts in a second. And when I say the charts paint a very good picture for you, you will see how well the charts paint a picture for Robinhood. But nonetheless, I think there's an opportunity. I think it's probably been beat up enough. We'll see. But looking at the trend, it's flat coming into this week. It's showing as a 65 cents on sale at a true value of $11.67. So let's look at the chart on Robinhood. not a lot of long-term data there because it just IPO'd last year. And so what we won't see, which I like to see, is an SMA, right? So it hasn't had a 180-day SMA yet start to be created on the charts. So hopefully we'll get that by the end of the year, at least some sort of an SMA. But again, you can see a lot of manipulation in the stock, very clearly noticed by the small cake range here. The stock was, when it IPO'd, it actually came out at $85. Someone actually bought it at $85 on August 4th. So that's a few days after it IPO'd. A lot of excitement coming into Robinhood, a lot of comparisons to Coinbase. And so a lot of people were overhyping the stock quite a bit. And you can see as as the year has gone on, from that point, it's been totally disastrous for Robinhood. But some good news about it, some things that I wanted to point out. Just looking at the MACD, you can see how much oversold it's been. It's been pretty much at the bottom of its oversold in December. You can start to see where more investors are starting to come back in. So you can see the volume start to come up here, and you see that represented in the MACD chart here. So when I see more investors coming in, buying at low prices, as the Warren Buffett narrative always goes, when people are fearful, that's when you buy. So I think most people are aware that they're getting in at deals in this range. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to get in with Robinhood, even for a short-term day trade, a week trade, just an opportunity to make some money this week. I think with the trend slowly starting to come up, so you can see the EMA cross, the teal cross the green gets rejected, and you see another teal cross the green gets rejected last week. So I expect this is, so when you start to see that and you see everything coming closer together, it's bound to turn back around. So thinking this week, I feel comfortable getting in, buying Robinhood at $11 and a penny, with the opportunity to sell out at about $11.64 to $11.75. So you're looking at about a 5 to 5%, 5.5% gain. So not a bad trade if you can make that trade and get in at 11.01. So I feel like that's a good price point. I expect to see the momentum continue to carry upward and expect to see more buyers coming in, buying at these pretty incredible low prices. So I would say Robinhood, I feel comfortable getting in at $11 and a penny this week. That's what's your call out for Robinhood.
Yeah, I totally disagree. Robinhood, I hate that one more than Nikola,
I think. Appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. I wouldn't buy Robinhood at all. But if I had to give a number, it would. I think I put down like 10.01.
10.01. Okay. Yeah, we're way off on this one. 10.01. So what are you saying? You said 10.01 or 10 even?
No, you can put 10 even.
Okay.
I just
give me your honesty here. I'm listening.
I think it's a bad stock. From $85 to $10.65, that's pretty bad. That's terrible.
People still buying it though. It's still listed on the in the SEC. So
yeah, it's still on the Nasdaq.
Yeah, it's
but
still listed.
I guess it's the same thing like Nikola. Nikola was what, 15 when we was looking at it, and I was telling you like, not a Nikola fan, and now I think Nikola in the like $6 range.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah,
I would stay away there. There are a million stocks that you can make money on.
Yeah, I hear you. I think think that's where everybody has their own strategy, their own own opinions, and I think there's an opportunity here. I'm not saying this is a long-term investment play right now at this point. I think it'll get more bullish at some point. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week, but I do think in this week I think there's some opportunity. But yeah, I hear you. I know this one was going to be one you were probably going to strongly disagree with me on. So
Yeah.
I guess right.
Hard to catch the bottom with a stock like that too. It's just, I don't know.
Yep. So we'll see. Again, if it suits your price range and suits your appetite, that's one that you might can swing that one and make a little money on it. So next one up, got Plug Power pulled out as a long-term play. Called this one out a couple weeks back. I'll show you what's happened with it since I called it out before. It's coming in as a flat trend. It's 52 cents overpriced, coming in at a true value of $23.92. So let's look at Plug Power, and this is again an electric battery charging company, competing with Tesla's high-speed chargers and the likes. And so Plug Power has showed a lot of consistency over the last year. It's been down on the SMA lately. I did call this one out again a few weeks back, and since then it did move up. Or it moved down the next week and then pulled up. So it looks like it's continuing on it kind of goes upward and then kind of goes flat, upward and flat. I think it was actually probably moving slightly upward when I called it out a few weeks back. It's moving flat this week. It looks like today there was a lot of pull down. Of course, the market and everything was down on the Nasdaq. As we can see, this one trades on the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq was down heavy today. So you expect a stock like this to kind of follow that same trend. I don't see the EMA teal cross the green just yet. If it does, I would expect to see a little bit more pull back. So I expect to see a little bit of an opportunity. I wouldn't put my price too high on this one. I'll give it some room to fall a little bit more. Try to get in at as cheap a price as you can. So I'm thinking for me this week, $21.12 is a good price point. I think there's a great opportunity for this one to pull back up into the 23.60, 23.50 range. But I'm going to go with, if it falls down to 21.12, I'm going to put an alert, be watching and looking to buy at 21.12. So that's what your call out for Plug Power this week.
Yeah, we're pretty close on that one. I put 21.02.
Yeah, we are close now. 21.02. Good price range. I mean, you can see where it's been, where it's going. I feel pretty confident that this one's going to be around for next couple months. You could definitely hold on to this one and kind of look away while the market turns back around, hopefully in the next couple months. So, all right. So moving on to the next one for the week. And the last but not least is Halozyme. Another one I called out a few weeks ago. So we'll look at where I called it out and where it's been since then. Coming in at a flat trend this week, also showing at 21 cents on sale at a true value of $34.93. This is one I've traded quite a bit in the past. I think I bought some when I called it out a few weeks ago. So never gone wrong with Halozyn. It tends to show a pretty consistent pattern, at least historically it has. I'm going to show you where it was when I called it out a few weeks ago. This is where it was, kind of dipped down because the market dipped down, pulled back up. So a lot of opportunity to have bought into this one, held it, sold. You can continue to be holding it and still making some money. So I called out a trend that would actually expect this price to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $36.65 from March 14th, which it hasn't hit that yet, till the end of March 31st. So I would expect it at some point to be up in this range. Like I said, the 36.60 range at some point in the next couple of weeks. Definitely thinking this week, I feel comfortable getting in at 33.92, possibly getting out and selling out this week. If I was going to get out this week at about $2.45, I'm sorry, at 2.45%. So that's about $34.75. So one, you could get out this week. You could double down and buy more if it falls down below this. Definitely expect it to definitely get back on this trending back up. It's following the SMA projection pretty good. So I drew this yellow SMA line back early part of February. You can see the green SMA just really overlapping that perfectly. So you can go back and check the videos if you don't believe me, but I haven't touched any of this right here. So I do believe this one will pull back pretty strong here in the next few weeks. But yeah, I would say I'm going in with Halozyn. If it falls down to 33.92, which it looks like it did today. Came down to a low of 34. So yeah, 33.92 is where I'm looking to buy Halozyn this week. Guys, what's your call out for Halozyn?
Yeah, I got 33.67.
Pretty close, pretty close, pretty close. 33.67 it is. You ever heard this stock before? You ever looked in this one at all before I start calling this one out?
Yeah, I think I heard of this one right here. Or I don't remember what it was. I think it was, what was it, CNN, I think, possibly.
Yeah. And they do medical, this medical, they're in the medical field. Know exactly what they do, but I think they're called Halozyme Therapeutics. So they're in the medical field for sure. So, all right. So that's all for the plays of the week. Definitely had a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of stocks still out there to go get. You know, we called out Lockheed in the past, and they've been booming pretty strong. Called out Barrick Gold in the past. If you held on to that, it's moving really strong. AeroViro, it's been moving pretty strong. Called it out. We've called US Steel out. We've called ASTS Space Mobile. We've called Yamana out. We've called Steel Dynamics out. So all the ones we've been calling out the last few weeks, you know, you haven't gone wrong. We haven't steered anyone in the wrong direction. So, you know, the call outs have been good. Pretty good year so far, even as the market's been kind of plummeting. Still looking for good values out there, and we'll continue to bring you the best values that's out there, the best prices, and the best price points to get in. So continue to hang in there with us. Again, we'll continue to try to put out the best videos we possibly can, and just continue watching. Appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.